Hello, my name is Leo, and welcome to a new day of the Elder Scrolls Arena. We are still fast traveling, riding our horse on to the next town. It's gotta be a few more days just yet. But hang on to your hats. We'll get there in the end. Um, Today, what did I do today? I actually went there a couple of days ago too, to a restaurant, an interesting restaurant. It's actually one of my favorite restaurants in Japan. It's called Steak Gusto, or Steaky Gusto. They also have another. It's a restaurant chain, a family restaurant chain. They also have another chain called Cafe Gusto, but I like the Steaky Gusto because it's really all about steak, mainly hamburger steak. Hamburger steak is an interesting concept. We don't really have it in Australia. I guess the closest thing we have in Australia is like rissoles, but they're like small, tiny things. They're not that soft when you chew them. But it's basically ground beef, or minced meat, however you want to say it. In America, I think they call it Salisbury steak, or I might be mistaken there. Basically, it's not a steak at all. It's just, like I said, it's just ground beef, um, mixed with egg and maybe something else that, makes it bind together, and you make a pseudo steak out of it. In Japan, hamburger steaks are really cool. Like you pay like pittance, and it comes out on this like already heated plate, so it's cooking when it comes out. And sometimes they got cheese on top, sometimes they got egg on top. I'm really sad because about I think it was either last year or the year before, about a year ago when I came to Japan, we went to Steak Gusto and they had what's called the what was it called? The big steak gusto? The grand steak gusto? God, I can't remember what it's called. Regardless, most hamburger steak dishes is basically a hamburger steak, maybe some onion, usually potato wedges, and then you've got like a mini dish filled with a sauce of your choice. There's about 7 different sauces you can try: demi-glace, teriyaki, miso. What were the other ones? Garlic, basil. There's tons. Anyway, whatever. That's your standard sort of hamburger steak. You've also got hamburger steaks that are cheese in. They call it cheesu in, which is basically a hamburger steak that's had a whole bunch of cheese, like pumped, like injected inside the hamburger steak. So when you cut it open, it just dribbles out cheese. Ah. Um, then there's the double, which is like a hamburger steak with a slice of cheese, another hamburger steak on top, and then a fried egg on the top. Now, the big steak gusto, which is my personal favorite, it's about $13, $14. It was about $13, $14. It was a hamburger steak, 150 gram, slice of cheese, another 150-gram hamburger steak, another slice of cheese, another 150 hamburger steak, and then an egg on top. Oh, pure bliss. Unfortunately, they don't do it anymore. I guess it wasn't popular. I was probably the only customer that was going in there and eating it. So they got rid of it, which is a bummer. But they've got the double. The double's alright. I've tried some other ones. They actually do pretty good chicken as well. This is I think about Japanese restaurants. I don't know if I mentioned this before, but a lot of they call it Viking. They say English, or they say katakana English, Viking style. Viking style is basically buffet. It's like Sizzler. You pay. Oh, actually, generally speaking, when you get a hamburger steak, the salad bar is included, just like Sizzler. You go in there, they've got curry. The curry is actually pretty good. It's hamburgers at Steak Gusto, but they've got your salad. They've got rice. They've got like bread rolls that you can bake up in a little toaster oven. You can even pay a little bit extra and get shaved ice, which does nothing for me, but the wife who loves her shaved ice because she's a Japanese woman, therefore she has the same mentality as a Japanese schoolgirl. A Japanese schoolgirl's like strawberry shortcake and shaved ice, and sweets in general, ice cream. Um, And then the other thing that they have in Viking restaurants is the drink bar. The concept of a drink bar. Actually, they don't just have them in Viking restaurants, they have them in a lot of places. The drink bar is basically this. Depending on the restaurant, you pay maybe $1 to $2. If you don't actually have a normal meal, you can just have the drink bar on its own, and that at Steak Gusto, that's $3 for that. And basically, it is a corner of the restaurant where there's a whole bunch of different drink dispensers, and you can just go in there and drink all you want. They've got iced coffee. They've got your Coke, the niche Japanese soft drinks like melon flavored soda. Then there's Fanta. Okay. Alright, so, I was in the middle of talking about Steak Gusto in the drink bar, and then you might have heard the door opening. The waifu's mother-in-law came in, spouting, ranting about something, and I didn't know what the hell she was talking about. All I know is I think she said she heard a sound or something. All she said was down. And I was like, okay, it's kind of scary. Well, go check it out. Go ease her mind. It's probably nothing, but it's fine. And I walk into the living room, and the father-in-law's there, and he's sitting there watching TV, and they're all like, yeah, we saw something, we heard something. I couldn't actually understand what they were saying. And then they go, no, check out the next room. Okay. And we go to the next room. I don't see anything. Turn around, look at the ceiling. Oh my god, the biggest freaking spider I have ever seen in my entire life. It was literally the size of my hand, and I got pretty big hands. So what's that in centimeters? Do I have a ruler? I need a ruler. Just make a rough estimate. I don't know, it's an inch. Rule's about that much. I guess it was about 10 centimeters? Yeah, I think that's pretty accurate. 10 centimeters? 10 to 15 centimeters, like, from one end to the other. It was freaking enormous. Scared the living shit out of me. Then I was like, okay, what are we going to do about this mother ducking spider in the mother ducking house? Okay, well, let's kill it, I guess. Do I have any spray? Well, we've got some insect spray that you are supposed to, like, spray on your skin to, like, insect repellent. It's not exactly the right thing. Oh, I do have some insect spray in my room that I used to kill a cockroach that invaded my room the other night. But that one, I literally ran out of spray as I was killing the cockroach. Well, I grabbed it anyway. Grabbed it. I dual-wielded, Gunzerker style, dual-wielded the killer spray that's already about to run out, or has run out. I shook it up as much as I could. And the insect repellent, dually shot the spider. He jumped off the roof, fell on the ground, and then ran at 9 million miles an hour. Scared the living crap out of me. I ran to the next room, which is the kitchen. I was like, it's big spider. Big spider's going to bite me. I don't like the big spider. And then the mother-in-law's there, and she's like, oh, I'll get a fly swat. She pulls out a fly swat. Here, use this. And I'm like, what the hell am I supposed to do with this? Fly swats? You see the size of this thing? I'd swat the thing, and it would probably bite the end off the fly swat. Swatting this thing is not going to kill it. I just go, oh, I get the broom. What's a broom going to do? I suppose a broom, in hindsight, maybe would have done it. What I really needed was a shoe. Guess what? Japanese take their shoes off when they enter the house. So no shoes in sight. Anyway, I sprayed it a bit more times. It sort of ran around. Then it hit the bookcase. Then the mother-in-law came out with one of those, I think it's meant for cockroaches and other things, one of those ones with, like, the long nozzle that you're supposed to, like, angle under, like, chairs and surfaces, like under tables and counters and stuff. Okay, so I used that in conjunction with some other thing I had, and just sprayed this friggin' spider with everything I had, filled the room with friggin' pesticides. Now I gave myself a friggin' lung attack by friggin' engulfing all of this friggin' fumes. Um, and Spider's like, fuck this shit, ran to the side door, and I was like, oh, quick, got a chance. Opened the door, he ran straight out. Whew, close the door. Spider's gone. I don't know, maybe he'll die outside, maybe he won't, that's fine. As long as he doesn't come back and haunt me in my dreams, I couldn't care less, because that spider scared the crap out of me. There is one side note, doesn't affect me so much. Now, there's the front door, right? And as you come in through the front door of a Japanese house, you've got a slightly lowered platform, which is actually the level of the ground outside, where you take your shoes off, then you step up a step into the actual house itself with no shoes on, and most of the house is raised like this, with the exception of the toilet. That's another story. The toilet's actually lowered, and you normally you put on what's called toilet shoes in order to go into the toilet. But never mind about that. Now, there's also a side door to the place, which is literally just outside. Take your shoes off, leave them outside, step into the house. That's it. So the shoes are outside. When I first came here, everyone in the house uses that side entrance. Nobody really goes to the front door. They usually keep it locked at all times. So I use the side entrance. There's two things I don't like about the side entrance. One is there's this huge conglomeration of everyone's shoes that people just step over when they get to their shoes, which I don't really like. My OCD doesn't really like that. It's a bit dirty. The second thing is all manner of creepy crawlers and whatnot can go in and live in my shoes. That giant friggin' spider included. Now, from now on, now that I'm living here, I strictly go into the front entrance and take my shoes off in the front entrance and then close the front door, which for the most part would prevent things from coming in. I have seen a couple of big spiders or something, or insects or whatever, come in, but it's a lot more rare than what it would be just having them literally outside the house. So it doesn't affect me, but of course the other people in the house would have to be on their toes when they put their literally, see what I did there, on their toes, when they put their feet into their shoes coming from tomorrow. Just in case the spider either A, ran off there and hid in the shoes for a while because he's scared shitless of what just happened, or B, crawled in there and died. So there's a dead spider in there, which I guess isn't so bad because it's not going to bite you or anything, but there's still a freaking dead spider in there, and that's kind of creepy. Now, the wife who actually was out at the time, she just came home, and we told the whole story about it, and she's like, oh, it's a spider, oh, it's not that bad, oh, it's just a big spider. I'm like, bullshit, you would be scared out of your freaking mind. The woman who is scared out of her mind when slugs, granted they are pretty big slugs, called namakuji in Japanese, infiltrate the kitchen and crawl around. Yeah, but here's the thing about namakuchi. A, they're definitely not poisonous. B, they don't bite. C, they go at like a naught of a kilometer per millennium. They're the slowest friggin' insect on the planet. Also, you can kill them by spraying them with salt. I mean, what's so dangerous about that? Whenever she sees one, she screams at a million decibels, calls me in there to come save her and kill the namakuji, which I don't want to kill the namakuji. I usually just pick it up with some chopsticks and throw it outside. She's like, no, you got to kill it, otherwise it'll come back. I'm like, the last thing on the namakuji's mind is coming back for more. I think he'll stay outside, or he'll probably just go somewhere else. But, yeah, she reckoned that the spider posed no threat whatsoever. She is scared of apparently two things. One is namakuji at the top of the list, so slugs. Not just snails, like big motherfucking slugs. Which she is adamant are not the same thing, despite the fact that snails and slugs are actually the same, species. Not species, but the same class or whatever you call them, won't say family. The second thing on her scared list is snakes, which is a legitimate scary thing. Snakes can be poisonous, and you're quite right. But giant ass spiders, yeah, you should be afraid of them because they bite you. They might be poisonous. They're just creepy, man. Creepy ass spiders. Oh, I'm still shaking off the shakes, and I'm really scared that this house, it's a little bit, just things just come in. I don't know where the open holes are, but there's just open holes in walls for things to just come in. And like the other night, a cockroach just randomly crawled in under the front door, under my door, and I was like, oh, that's a cockroach. Ugh. And then he went straight for my bed, and I was like, get the fuck away from my bed, you motherfucker. And he didn't, so I'm like, oh, sorry, you're gonna die. Shinu! And I sprayed him countless times. And you know what, cockroaches, they don't die easy, man. They die like a bitch. It was literally drowning in friggin' insect spray by the time he actually friggin' died. What was I talking about? So giant spiders. No, I'm trying to get giant spiders out of my friggin' head because that giant spider was friggin' big. Okay, enough about giant spiders. Alright, Steaky Gusto. Yeah, so drink bar. So they've got all your manner of drinks. So you got your lemon sodas. You got your cow piss. Not to be confused with cow piss, which is actually the urine coming from cows. It's in Japanese. It's cannabis. It's a kind of, how do you describe it? You can have it in soda form, or it's like a juice, I guess, but it's not really. It's white and it's kind of sweet. The soda version is obviously bubbly. The non-soda version obviously isn't. I don't know. It's okay. I don't know what it is, but I've suddenly taken a liking to melon soda. You can also get apple juice, orange juice. I mentioned Coke. Okay, the Japanese waifu is screaming in the background. Perhaps she found a Namakuji. Perhaps she found another spider. That's kind of scary. Okay, she's calling for me. Well, anyway, Steaky Gusto is a great place to go. I get a feeling that I'm about to be called in for rescue missions again. But for now, my name is Leo, and I'll see you later. Okay, so... no, we're not finished yet, actually, because I've got more stuff to talk about. So, yeah, I did go and investigate, and apparently... So, okay, so here's what happened, right? I hear the wife is screaming. I hear her calling, Leo, Leo, come here, come here. Okay. And I opened the door, and didn't go out. I'm like, what is it? What? Is it Namakuji? If it's a Namakuji, I'm okay. I'm down with that. If it's a slug, I'm more than happy to come in there and rescue you from slugs. But if it's another spider, count me the fuck out. And she wouldn't tell me. She's like, no, 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 just come here. I'm like, tell me if it's a Namakuji. No, 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 come here. Is it a spider? Yes. No, sorry, I'm done. Done for the night. Done for the night. No, no, no. Come save me. Come save me. Come save me now. No, I'm not going to save you. I'm not going to save you. I've killed one spider tonight. I mean, actually, I didn't actually kill it because it ran away, but I sprayed it a lot, and we had a battle. Fine. Alright, I'll come save you. Alright, so where is it? It's in the TV, like the main room that everyone's sitting there watching TV. Oh god, okay. Whereabouts? We don't know. God damn it. Alright, so I sneak in. I'm like, where is it? We don't know. Dad saw it. Okay, Dad? Whereabouts? I saw it scurrying across the floor. Okay, is it like behind the TV? Is it under the couch? Oh, fantastic. Alright, well everyone get up, come out here, go to the kitchen, and I'll sort this mess out. Finally found out where it was. I think I shifted something. It must have been hiding behind the TV. Because it came up when I shifted the chair next to the TV. And there he was. I'm like, okay, time to gunzoke again. Thankfully my cooldown bar had gone down, so I was able to gunzoke again. Dual wielding the long nozzled one, and what was the other one? Just the normal killer spray. I whacked it a few times, it ran around, then it went under the couch. I'm like, shit, it's gone under the couch, I don't know where it is. So I sprayed it with the long nozzle one, I pointed it under the couch and I sprayed a bit. Then I saw it crawling up the wall, like, god damn it, will you just fucking die for God's sake. Spray it, friggin' Waifu's in the way. I'm like, don't stand behind me, because if that thing comes at me, I'm going to be running this way, and if you're in my way, I'm going to run straight over you. So get out of the way. Go to the kitchen. So I spray it a bunch of times. It starts crawling up the wall. I'm like, okay, this is probably the end. It'll probably fall off the wall, and then I'll know it's done. It didn't know. It kept walking around. And then I noticed it walking, like crawling along the floor, dragging a leg. I'm like, yes, it's gonna die. And then the dad-in-law came with the broom. I'm like, get this friggin' broom out of my face. Wait a minute, actually, broom might be a good idea. Give me that broom. And I just beat the living daylights out of the spider with the broom until it was friggin' dead and curled up and shriveled. Except it wasn't actually dead yet. It looked dead, and I warned him, he's not dead yet. I warned Dad, he's not dead yet. He's probably still alive. Be careful, because he might jump or do something stupid. Whatever, the dad just takes a piece of paper, scoops it up with his friggin' hand onto, like a newspaper or whatever, gave it to the waifu, and I told the waifu, he's probably not dead, be careful, and she's like, ah, and she always threw the friggin' thing at me. I'm like, don't give it to me, you can go over there and, okay, go take it outside. What? Why don't you just put it in the bin? No, because it's not friggin' dead. If it comes back alive, it'll come and get us, and I'll sleep like a ninja spider. And if you've ever played Onimusha, you know that there are such things as ninja spiders. So we threw it out the side door, just like with the other one, and then she left the side door open. I'm like, what are you doing? Close the door. The other spider's still freaking out there. It's all just too much. I need a drink, but I don't have anything to drink, and I'm sweating balls because it's friggin' summer, and I've been doing too much activity that I need to. Anyway, 2 spiders. This one was pretty big, but it wasn't as big as the first one. So I believe that females are usually bigger. So I'd say the first one was the female, and the second one might have been the male. And I'm hoping to God that there aren't any more others, because they were the same type of spider. And if I'm right, then it was man and woman, and maybe they're just a couple and that's all. But if there's other spiders around, I don't want them to go in there and get me in my sleep. The wife is slightly more pissed off, because the room where everyone watches TV is also where she sleeps at night, and that freaks her out more than anything else. That said, remember how I mentioned, right, before I said goodbye, remember how I mentioned that the wife who claims that, oh, spiders, I'm not scared of spiders at all. She laughed at me because my heart was racing at 1,000,000 miles an hour, and I was so pumped after, battling this spider. And she's like, you're such a baby, Leo. And I'm like, what about you? You're scared of freaking slugs. Slugs are scary. I'm like, whatever. I'm like, if that spider was there, you would have pissed your pants. And she's like, no, I wouldn't have. Guess what? I mean, I don't know if you can hear it in the recording. Just before I said goodbye, I sort of went silent because I heard screaming. She was screaming at the top of her friggin' lungs. And she was scared shitless of that spider. After the fact, though, after the spider was out and dead, talking big again. I'm like, you were so scared of that spider, weren't you? No, it's fine. The spider wasn't scared. I'm just scared of Namakuji. I'm like, what the fuck ever, woman? You were scared out of your freaking skull. I didn't mention there was this one time with the second spider where he was actually coming straight at me. Like, I got him cornered in a wall, and he was next to a window. I'm like, I'm going to use the same trick. I'm going to open the window, and then it'll just crawl out. But by the time I was going to open the window, he'd already walked away. And then he was like, okay, I'm going to fight you. And he came charging at me, guns blazing, with his fangs up. And I was like, oh, Jesus. And I'm like, backing up, all the way back to the kitchen. And I'm like, stay the fuck away from me. And I sprayed it some more. And then I think after that, that's when the dad came in with the broom, and I knocked him out cold. This has been a very eventful friggin' blog. This has been one of the most eventful blogs I've ever done. Even in the friggin' Vespa 5 things. I mean, God, here I was starting to talk about Steaky Gusto. I could have talked about Steaky Gusto tomorrow. Right? I would have had plenty of content. But then the friggin' spider had to come in there and just ruin everything. Well, anyway, when we come back, we will be fast traveling to the next area, and maybe I'll have some other story about some other insect that invaded the house and I had to kill it. But for now, my name really is Leo, and I actually will see you next time, provided I don't get killed by ninja spiders in my sleep. See you next time.